So sorry about the sun directly in my face. This is about the only place that has light in where I'm setting up camp. So a little bit of shadows, maybe if I look up, but then I'm squinty. So I'm just gonna bend over a little bit. Okay, so did it again. So let's see, day 15, 16, 17, 18. This is Monday, day 19 on the, almost at PCT, on the CDT. So long day. I think it's going to be ended up being about like 24 miles today, and about a mile or so away from the water source tomorrow. So I'll pick up some water, and then I think I'm about 21 miles from town, and that's going to be Pie Town, New Mexico. It's a really small place. It has a hostel, an RV park, I think a restaurant, a pie store, because Pie Town. And then I think like down the road there might be like 3 miles down the road, I think there's some type of either truck stop or a convenience store or something. And then there's a post office. So not a whole lot in Pie Town. And I'll have to decide if I breeze in tomorrow after 20 miles, I'll probably need to stay like at the hostel or at the RV park, like setting up my tent. If I camp, 1 or 2 miles away from town tomorrow, then Wednesday I would blow in and basically pick up my resupply, probably take a shower, think about doing laundry, check some emails, and maybe post some videos if there's Wi-Fi, and then keep on going. So I'll just have to decide about that later tonight and tomorrow. But today was a lot of lugging water, and we're on it's known as the Pie Town Alternative. So instead of having to do a road walk into Pie Town, this alternative actually takes you to where you walk straight into town instead of having to do road walks, like an asphalt road walk. We are doing Forest Service road and other types of road walks. Today, one of them was over, I think it's called Magnus Mountain. It's like 4 miles up to the top of the mountain and then another 3 or so down. And the up road was okay. It was, sections of it were steep, but it was a nice road. Like the surface was nice. Coming down, they had us turn off that nice road and walk down what I think was a service road for the electrical lines. And that road, Lord Almighty, it was chocked full of volcanic rock. So really hard on the feet. My right foot, I think on the bottom, might be bruised just for 3 miles of down on that stuff. So I'll have to check it out tonight and see if everything's okay. When you get close to town, you start thinking about the things that you want to eat or drink, and every person's a little bit different. I mean, of course, people overlap or whatnot, but I always like things that are clean, or I don't know how to say this, like crisp. So like my go-tos when I get to town, I love Arizona green tea, like the ginseng with honey. I never drink that stuff except when I'm hiking. Like when I hike the PCT, I would get into town and I'd immediately go to the store and buy 2 or 3 of those things, depending if I had a rest day or not. And unfortunately, I don't think Pie Town has a store in town. I'd have to walk 3 miles out and then 3 miles back to get it, so I probably won't get that tomorrow. The second thing are apples, just that crisp taste of the apples. I don't know why that's what I like, but maybe it's because of like the food I'm eating on the trail and the other food I get in town. It's just I like that crisp flavor, or lack of flavor. I don't know, lack of artificial flavor. Maybe that's it. So I am looking forward to getting to town and kind of just doing from head to toe, just how do I feel, and see if I want to stay a little longer in town, and like I said, do some laundry and also like catch up on video stuff, or if I just want to push through and get to I think the next town is Grants, New Mexico, which is much larger. It has Walmarts and hotels and stores of all kinds and food of all kinds. So it might be one of those things where I breeze through Pie Town and try to get to Grants as soon as possible. So I'll have to make the decision about that. I think early on in the video series, I talked about soul-starved hiking and the reason for the name of, needing to replenish my soul because it's been depleted. And if you go back to sorry, there's insects, of course. If you go back to one of the earlier videos, let's say day 1 or 2, whatever, you're going to see that I have a tick, and I think it shows up on this side. I can't remember. It might be the other side, but the tick is basically I strain my neck, and it happens when I've been in periods of stress and anxiety for long periods of time, and then this tick becomes a habit. I don't think about it. I do it involuntarily, and if I see myself do it in the mirror, if I see myself do it while I'm on a video conference or a video, like a FaceTime, then I know that stuff's not going well, and I know that I need to change something quickly, because if I have such a high level of stress that tick comes in, and of course I'm not talking about an insect, I'm talking about that involuntary movement, then I need to change something, because I'm not living a healthy life. And I noticed that tick quite a bit during the last, I think 6 or 9 months. It could have been more, I don't know. That's when I noticed it. Oh, a real life tick. That's not cool. Sorry about that. I had a real life tick walking on me. Maybe I didn't pick the best place to camp, so I'll take a look at that. So that's when I noticed it. It could have been 6 to 9 months. Like, other people may have noticed it 9, 12, 15 months ago. Like, it could have been as long as like when Bo had his seizure and I had to, make sure he gets meds every 8 hours and that kind of stuff. So what you're going to notice is like the tick is not occurring right now. And so I didn't come out to do this hike or do any hike or escape to, try to find myself or try to do some type of like spirit journey, in the sense of like, who am I really? I did this journey because I was unhealthy. And I saw I was unhealthy. I could physically see I was unhealthy because of the tick that was happening basically from my jaw all the way down to my shoulder. And I knew that I needed to make a change. And so the fact that I've been on the trail, what did I say earlier, 19 days, the fact after 19 days on the trail, like it was still present at the beginning of the trail, and right now it's not happening as frequently. That just tells me that this, like, getting out here and challenging myself physically and kind of just replenishing myself with nature and different types of challenges and getting away from the stress and anxiety is exactly what I needed. So we'll see if my body holds up, like my feet and my legs and everything else. And some of my gear is actually starting to break, because I was hoping I could use the same gear for my Colorado Trail trip, my Pacific Crest Trail trip, and my Continental Divide trip, which the Colorado Trail, the CT, was in 2009, and this is 2022, so 13 years apart. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I think I'm probably going to have to get a few pieces of new gear, because some stuff is not going to make it, especially if we can get in Colorado when we're getting rain, because so far we haven't seen any rain in New Mexico. Beautiful blue skies. Okay, so I think today's shout out is to mental health. I mentioned earlier about the tick, and I think that it's just important for us all to do kind of a check-in. And the way I found the tick is, I was standing in front of the mirror in my bathroom for like 2 minutes, just looking at myself like, how do you look? How do you feel? And just asking some questions. And I noticed that tick was there, and that was an indication to me of like, okay, you're not doing well. So I think mental health, some of the taboo is going away, but it still has some taboo. And I think that the more people that discuss mental health and welcome those discussions in their daily lives, probably are helping the cause of making sure that other people remember that it's okay to talk about these things, and it's okay not to be okay. Like, everyone's not okay from time to time. And I think with social media, I won't pick out one particular. I think it's all social media where we kind of put a rosy lens on everything, and everything's hunky dory. And you know, it's really not hunky dory 100% of the time. It's just like perfection. There's no such thing as perfection. Um, so that was a big epiphany for me when I was going through therapy, and I read Brene Brown's book, Gifts of Imperfection. And people asked me, like, hey, when did you have an epiphany during your therapy? And surprisingly, it was when I read that book and realized I'm striving for something that's impossible. You can be perfect, like you can type in a phone number correctly and get the person you're trying to call, um, but you can't be perfect 100% of the time. And so that's just one example of us, I think, putting rosy lenses on things. And I didn't mean to get, you know, a bit sentimental or talk about mental health so much, but I think it's a good reminder to check in with yourself, because sometimes we get so busy that we overlook ticks in our neck that could have been there for 12, 15, 18, 24 months. And I just noticed it 6 to 9 months ago. So check in with yourselves. Everyone, take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for watching the videos. And again, I know that some people have texted questions with regard to gear and food and a bunch. I think the fly just flew in front of the camera. That was pretty awesome. So anyway, I'll answer your questions. When I get to town, I'll get all my text messages in a row, and then I'll figure out a way to respond to them. So that's coming up as well. And I promise I will take some of these like during the day, but it's just one of those things where you put your head down and hike, and you know, you just don't think about it in the moment. So hope everyone's doing well, and check in with yourself mentally and make sure that everyone's doing okay in your circles, and you're doing okay yourself. And I'll talk to you folks later.